Today we're here at Master Blend Farms in Kenansville, North Carolina with Mr. Ron, who's gonna show us around your operation. I see some Kubotas when I was pulling in the driveway, but tell us what you do here.
So Master Blend Family Farms is a small operation located here in Kenansville. We specialize in pasture-raised pork. We have clients that range from small mom and pops locations up to like cool restaurants. So just living the dream, bro, being a buck with you.
All right, are you from Kenansville?
No, so if I'm gonna be candid with you, so I met my wife, she duct taped my ankles and legs together and threw me in the trunk and brought me here to Kenansville, and I've been stuck ever since, bro.
So this was your father-in-law's operation and your wife's family business, and you married in.
Yeah, yeah.
So you had the opportunity to stay out of ag, and you jumped in.
Yeah. So Dad has the experience. His family 31 years, and he was doing it as like a side revenue stream. One day I got curious. I was like, "Hey, Dad, so is there any way possible that I can dive in and take it?" And at the time, he was just farming. Mm-hmm. And so whenever he gave me the approval, I put a label on it. I was like, "Hey, we're going MAB, man." And it turned into this phenomenon that we have today.
So you had that vision to put a label. So Master Blend Family Farms, that's when you took and put a label on his work of what he was doing and then took it on. That was just a couple of years ago. Well, so you went and worked with the state. That was in 2012 whenever this was starting, or before?
Well, about 2 years ago, I actually joined the Department of Agriculture here for North Carolina. The impression that I had about the Department of Agriculture was that it was a group of individuals, very dynamic, very unique, that were like superheroes. And what I mean by that was, no matter where they went across North Carolina, they were always giving inspiration and guidance to individuals that were in it or wanting to be in it. And I wanted to be a part of that because, I mean, for real, like I wanted to make a difference.
I want to get my hands dirty. Do you have anything we can do? I mean, I see some Kubota equipment over here. We've got to be able to do something, right?
Hey, man, let's make it shake. So we're going to start with feeding the pigs.
Okay.
And then after that, hopefully we can enjoy like a cool meal, man. We got some brisket whipped up for you.
I'm hungry.
Some barbecue. So let's get dirty first, though.
All right. Well, thanks for having us today.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Okay, look, if you're taking off your good boots, well, you got to put on a pair of Georgia boots, okay? Georgia Boot wants to say thank you for what you do for ag.
Oh, wow.
Give you a pair to strap on every day and go to work. So...
Dude, thank you,
Yep.
Georgia Boots. Thanks a million for this, man.
So
That's
get
hot.
these other things out of here.
All right, my bad. Oh, man. So you know I'm going to try to clean these up when we finish, right? You know this.
I know that.
Okay. Whenever we're putting feed out so that it's not super competitive in the pen, okay, it keeps the aggression level down on them. The other thing that we're looking at is with the feed conversion in the wintertime for us, it's going to be higher because the weather is a little different or a little more extreme, right? And then in the summertime, especially during breeding, we'll drop what we're feeding only because they'll get hot fast. And like, you don't need a boar having issues or a mom. So like right now with it being wintertime, it's more just dirt. There's pastures on the far side that has vegetation growing. So we're doing this regenerative agriculture. And then on the far side, there's also babies, right? And basically, I try to keep them separated a little bit so that they're not really dealing with hostility. Mm-hmm. And then the last piece is, you probably know this being in agriculture, so hogs don't have sweat glands. So the way that we keep them cool in the summertime is that we create little puddles or big puddles for them. That way they can get in there in the mud and stay cool. Yep. I really don't want you getting dirty, bro.
Oh, come on. Come on, it'll be all right.
All right, so you grab one, I'm gonna grab one. And with your legs being longer, okay, you can start on that point over there, right?
How much you want in it?
Maybe a quarter of the bucket. There you go. All right, so now we can actually step in.
Yep.
And then we could also put some over in here in this other pen.
Those Georgia boots are gonna get real dirty in their future. I don't care what you say.
Oh my God.
Like, them ain't office boots, man. Them are working boots. How old is each?
So all of these are young, man. So the oldest one in here is the spotted sow right there. Mm-hmm. She's about 3. The rest of these are like about 2 years old.
Okay.
With the moms, the older they get, up until about midway through, so I'm saying like 5, 6 years old, they're pretty awesome with being moms. So we're gonna go see her now. My boss lady calls her Friend. That's her name.
Big Mama we're going to.
Big Mama, yeah.
Friend.
Her name is Friend.
Hey, Friend.
Hey, baby. Yeah. The 2 on the outside are Berkshires.
Yeah.
And keeping you from having to deal with getting inside. I really don't want to dirty my boots,
Yeah,
bro.
I can tell.
So we can just put it in that trough right there. In regards of Ag Today and the racetrack, what have been the steps that you've used to be able to tie the 2 together? Because, like, again, I was told that you would smash the watermelon. I was like,
I was a farmer long before I was a racer. I was born into the ag industry, and most people in watermelons, it's a pretty tight-knit community.
Okay.
And they knew my dad and granddad way before I was even a thought. So when I got old enough to know what, just realize that we grew watermelons, that's all I wanted to be. So when I got to NASCAR, we took watermelons, and the ag industry is what sponsored me. So the racing sport of NASCAR and racing in general, it takes money. You have to pay to do it, whether you race at your local short track and you run a street stock or a Monte Carlo out there or whatever it is, or an old car that you turn into a race car.
okay.
You have to be able to buy the fuel and buy the tires and buy the engine in the car and build it into what you want. So it's the same thing in the truck series is where I started. So in my early days, you saw a lot of ag sponsors. You saw companies that were maybe just putting generic watermelons on there, like Florida watermelons, Georgia watermelons. The National Watermelon Promotion Board has a smiley face logo that they use that they put on there because a lot of the companies weren't selling to the end consumer. Their buyer was a farmer. Well, they weren't trying to, at the time, do it in a way to do anything. They were just sponsoring me mainly because I was Ross, the son of a watermelon farmer. I wanted to bring ag along for the ride. And so my first win was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I stood up on top of the car. I held the watermelon up. I looked around. I went, what do I do now? I didn't plan that part out. So I just sat it down and we carried it around for like an hour. And I was doing some media interviews after, and they asked what I was going to do with it. And I said, I don't know, bust it open and eat it. And they asked if they could film it. So we went back out on the track, and it was almost dark. And this cool moment, I stood up on the wall, smashed it, ate a piece, and the tradition was born.
I really appreciate what you're doing, my dude.
All right, well, we've talked about all this. Do I get to try anything?
Let's go.
We're going to eat?
Let's go.
I mean,
let's go. Let's put in some work.
All right. That was hard work
man.
we just did, you know? That was real hard.
I'll let you pour it, bro.
All right, guys, that's a wrap from Master Blend Family Farms here in Kenansville, North Carolina. The Simmons family run a great operation here. They cooked up some awesome looking food. I got to taste a little bit on the grill. If you're looking for an event to be catered or a competition you need some more entries in, the Simmons family, Mr. Ron will take care of you and probably come take first place. So we're gonna sit down with the family, eat this, have some fun. We'll see y'all down the road.